Hey, David. Hey, Shane. Because this is my first time using StreamYard, so I'm trying to figure out how to send people invites. So hold on here a second. How you guys doing today? Hey, Derek. Hey, Mater. Hey, David. Yeah, same here, Shane. I think I have it. Let's see here. Okay, Mater, I got a question for you. Is the email address or the StreamYard address the little number after it says StreamYard.com? Player's coming good. It's almost completely stripped of paint. Actually, once I'm done with this, I got to go do a whole bunch of paint removal, so I might finish it off while I'm out there. Copy. Hmm. I am on the laptop. And can you guys hear me? Hey, Brian. Hey, Ken. Again, I started early because I'm not familiar with any of this stuff, so. Oh, let's see here. Okay. So let me go here. And then I click on the invite, then copy and paste. Oh, okay. I was sending the wrong thing. Yeah. As soon as I click on the invite, then copy and paste. Okay. So let's try this again. You guys having a good weekend out there? Okay, am I unfrozen now? I was doing other stuff on here. The yard sales weren't too good this week either here. I got a few things, mostly some old toolboxes. Okay, hold on a second. Gotta plug the computer in. Where'd that box go? There it is. Okay. There we go. I like table that sits off of its own dedicated table mater. Sorry, I'm almost done with this. Send a few more messages out. Nice, Derek. I picked up some more random old Snap-on stuff today. Some of the old yellow-handled nut drivers. And some more wood-handled screwdrivers. Oh, okay. Okay. So, yeah, I meant to go on yesterday, but I got called out to a job. Farmer needed help putting in some new pressure controls. So I went there. People, yeah, yard sales you here at the flea market. Stuff's cheap. You can get Snap-on Mac wrenches for if they're under 3/4. You can get them for $2, usually $2-3. Yeah, mini bikes go crazy around here. They don't show up very often. There was a pretty cool go-kart at the scrapyard. It was missing the motor. It had good-sized wheels on it and very crudely driven. It was it had an actual old car rear end in it. And then a sprocket was welded to the pinion goes, and there was just a chain over to the motor. Yeah, my flea market's about 20 minutes away, so it's nice. I go there pretty much every Sunday. We're supposed to be getting more swap meets this weekend, this year as well. They finally put a kibosh on those for a while. We have a couple like collectible, they're more like car show swap meets, but I don't usually go to those. So it's got to move machines will fit in the shop again. I got to try to strip all the paint off that big mill. I'm over halfway done. And an hour of grinding, and I'll have it enough to get it in the shop. I'm not worried about the rust, just all the flaky lead paint coming off it. I'd rather that be outside than the shop. Hey, so I'm done. So we'll do that. Get it out of here or in the shop. Then I just need to pull the table off it and stuff. Then I got to run to Home Depot after this and get stuff to finish my VFD power board. That's cool. Yeah, it's getting nice out again. And jobs are got a couple small machining jobs I'm going to show this week. I need to show more of them. like I said, a lot of the time, stuff I do this time in the year, I'm out in the field. It's not conducive to filming. I actually did a pump install the other day, and I got one of those chest mount things for my phone to film it while I was doing it. But 10 minutes into the job, I forgot I was wearing it. So it was all just arms, the inside of arms, the whole video. I had a couple of my pretty good customers tell me that they don't care if I set up a camera and film what I'm doing. No, we didn't get snow, but it dipped down there again below freezing up here. Now we're up in the high 50s, low 60s. So yeah, we got all the machines in the shop this week. Do some machining jobs this week. I got really busy week, so I got to make one more small part for the radial arm drill to fix the stuff they had fixed when it broke the first time. But I fired it up with the VFD and it runs perfectly fine. So that's cool. So yeah, I got an email about three machines the farmer's getting rid of here pretty soon. So I'm gonna go look at those tomorrow. I have no intentions of bringing them here. They're two big giant flat belt lathes and it's a milling machine. So if they're super cheap, I will get them and bring them here and put them on the side of my house. Just if you put an ad out and farmers offer you machines, take them. Because if you don't take, even if you're not going to do anything with them, if you don't take them that first time, they'll never call you again to ask, when they're going to get rid of stuff. So you kind of have to take all the garbage and everything else. But then when they get rid of something cool, or they have a friend that's getting rid of something cool, they know you'll take it. They'll call you first. So. Because I've dragged home some lathes where some big cracks in the bed where they got dropped, or the what's a somewhat common thing on older lathes, the cast legs, the legs will be broken off it. I drag it all off and give them scrap price for it. We've also got some really cool deals if you guys getting rid of stuff. Yeah, 80% of it is junk. Of the machines I get for free or all of that, it's awful. Hey, David, welcome. But then the more machines you get from these people, then word gets around that you're looking for that kind of stuff. Hi, Rail. Hold on a second here. One second here. Hey, Doug. No, I haven't. They're both sitting on the workbench right now. The last 2 weeks have been pretty busy as far as hey Pat, as far as side projects go. I've been trying to get all the paint off that Brown and Sharp mill so I can get it in the shop. Because we're the map to the city and everything about putting in a jib crane. So the mill's sitting where I need to dig the hole to put the base in for it. So plus it needs to get inside so I can get working on it. More than just tinkering on it here and there. And I've been really busy with jobs after my day job. Today, kind of took the day off. So I wasn't on yesterday. A guy called me, needed a bunch of pressure controls replaced. A couple pumps, because a lot of the places the irrigation water's on now. At work, we turned on last for ag. He does. Ken needs to come over here, strip all the paint off everything, and wipe it down and paint it. That way I never have to do it ever again because I hate it. The biggest part on a lot of the machines, if you don't know this, on like the mill and stuff, they coated it. It's a cast. The base is all cast, so they went over it with. I'm not sure what they use. I don't want to say Bond. It's not Bondo, but it's another coating to smooth out the surface. Then they painted that. The wire, I use a twisted knot wire wheel, and it takes that first stuff off. But then they get it down to where it's smooth. Smoother is a pain. Take that first stuff off. But then they get it down to where it's smooth. Smoother is. Hey, Ariel.
Hi, Adam. Hi, Adam.
Yeah, it would, Ken. I could just stand there and watch and tell you to go faster, or stuff like that. I should have taken it to that sandblasting place and had all the paint stripped off it before I even brought it here. For now on, that's what I'm doing.
Hi, everybody in the
today,
chat.
Dan?
Hi, everybody in the chat. So no garage sales this weekend, Adam?
Oh, not many. I went to the flea market today. I went to 2 yesterday. Oh, not many. I went to the flea market today. I went to 2 yesterday. Again, when that toolbox fell off, did you have to do any straightening or anything to it? Did you have to do any anything to it? What have you been up to, Rail?
I haven't been doing a whole lot of anything. I've been staying indoors. It's been cold over here.
Oh. Yeah, we finally got above freezing.
Well, I'm looking forward to the snow going away so I can get the sawmill fired up and get that my stack of logs cut up.
Hmm. Oh, we lost Rail. Uh-oh. See, I'm going to build the jib crane. My shop sticks out past my house, and
Sorry about that.
no
Too
problem.
many buttons to push.
Yeah.
Still learning how to operate this machine.
Yeah, this is my first time using StreamYard. So
Yeah, there's a lot to learn on it. Once you get it figured out, I guess it's okay. Makes you wonder how Ed and some of those guys do it that do it all the time.
yeah. Hey, Tom. Thanks for swinging in. Hey, Baji. Yeah, I got a buddy coming over today to look at that CNC plasma table again.
That'd be a fun project to get going.
Yeah, he's supposed to be bringing me a computer that'll work for it. And then he's bringing over the stuff to test the stepper motors that are on it.
Uh-huh.
So the machine shop I got it from said it was kind of working when they replaced it. So
Well, didn't you say it needed a new tip or something?
it needs a new. I gotta get a cutter for it, new plasma
New
cutter.
cutter.
And I gotta get a specific type, I guess.
So what's it capable of doing? Will it do up to 1/2 inch?
I believe so. Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Oh yeah, for what I do, that'll be bigger stuff. I do is this like plates, and I have a track burner I can do thicker stuff with.
Right.
Yeah, Tom, I did look at that boring mill, and it was rough. It was beyond rough.
Uh-huh.
It had all kinds of hydraulic problems, and yeah, it was bad. Somehow there was chunks taken out of one of the lead screws for it, and yeah. That one's still in the scrapyard. I think I'm going to go next week and get tailstock off it before they scrap it, or before they load into a train car. I'll have a tailstock for one if I ever get one. If it happens to be a Lucas. Or if anyone, needs one, at least save that part of it. The rest of it, they've hit it so many times with their wheel loaders, it's complete garbage. I do have a line on a 28 or 30 inch vertical turret lathe. It's ancient, but it's in good shape. It's still in use at a shop right now. Hey, Daniel. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting into the CNC plasma cutter thing.
I would think it would be
As far as the
very
machine-
easy to design and program parts for, being a 2D cutter.
Yeah,
I used to do things on my CNC with plates, just cutting out brackets and stuff, and it was really easy to program.
that's why
compared
I
to-
do a lot of like lifting pads and stuff like that, and pad eyes and stuff like that. So that'd be really
Right,
handy.
lifting eyes and
Yeah.
right.
Hey, Winners Machine Shop. I will. I don't remember what number it is. I will go look at it tomorrow when I go to Scrapyard. Because it's the one part of the machine they have not absolutely destroyed, despite their best efforts. Yeah, as far as CNC lathe or mills and stuff, even the ones that are tore up here go for crazy money.
Yeah, I had a CNC lathe. It was a tool room lathe. It was a Haas. I bought it new, and it was just a single tool machine, and it was pretty good, but it wouldn't do what I wanted it to do. It didn't have enough horsepower. It wasn't big enough. I kept it for a year or two, and then flipped it.
I do have a buddy of mine that owns a machine shop. He actually has a couple of those Grizzly square columns that he made into CNC for small projects. He actually uses those quite a bit. I forget what model. It's the Grizzly model that everyone CNCs. And he has an older mill he can, and instead of using the quill, he lifts the table for the feed. He doesn't do anything with the quill on that one. There we go. 1 second here. And yet, Daniel, he doesn't do a lot of. Now you mentioned that he doesn't do a lot of. It's mostly hydraulic pump bodies, so he's doing holes and stuff in that, not actually cutting circles. Oh,
Hey, Adam.
hello.
This is Al, AWD Jr. on YouTube.
Oh, how's it going?
I'm sorry I'm late to the party, guys, but I was outside. I thought you were caught in that storm that we had in all through the Midwest. I don't know what area you're from, but up here in Ohio, Northeast Ohio's got over 100,000, had over 100,000 without power, and now we're down to about maybe 70,000.
Oh, yeah, I'm over in Washington State.
Oh, okay. You're just probably fashionably late, right? Getting started today.
Yeah, well, I started early to figure out. I'm new to StreamYard and all.
Yeah.
Give me time to tinker on it a bit.
Yeah. Well, have you ever heard of the ARW group, YouTube Machinists? They're a bunch of YouTube machinists. It started during COVID time. It's Harold Waters out of Texas. He had his own home machine shop site on YouTube like me for years. And he started a group called ARW. I think it's American Redneck, Average Redneck Workshop. Called ARW. Yeah. How am I coming in? Is my sound muffled?
No, sounds fine.
Okay. I'm getting feedback here. Okay, yeah. So anyway, I forgot it though. He hasn't been running his StreamYard for about a year. He's an elderly gentleman, and it kind of just went down. But during COVID, for about 2 years, he had it every Sunday, and I think he had. Yeah, he had. I think he had a lot of. He had Tom Lipton, some of the top names in YouTube machinists. I've been on YouTube since 2008, and I've got 300 subscribers.
Me too.
Because
I got 285, and I started in 08.
I don't know what it takes. I do not know what it takes. I tried everything, and even if you do get 10,000, like Harold, he's got like right now he's probably got 10,500, and like you'd get paid, doodly. So it's really not for the money, but I just can't see. I would just feel better if I could get 1,000 subscribers to meet the minimum. And I posted all my videos. I've got about close to 40, I think. A lot of them are pretty old, like going back to 08. But I posted them all on Rumble because just because the more you post them here and there, the more they'll grow, supposedly with the YouTube link. So, what you guys talking about? How many are actually watching? Can you tell, Adam?
14.
14. Oh, that's.
Isn't bouncing up and down.
Yeah, you know what? What we found to get viewers is you got to really pre-announce way ahead, and you got to be real punctual. You've got to, I'm not criticizing you or anything, but if you say, if you tell somebody you're going to do it, but it's all just voluntary. You might have had something important that came up today and you were late, or somebody or any of one of us. So but if you pre-announce like really like a week in advance and kind of hold to it, you'll get a lot of because you've got a lot of subscribers, so you should. But then again, what we found on Sundays, everybody's, especially if you got good weather, everybody's not in the house or in the shop. So that's another thing, the day you select. But of course, you can't select. It's got to be a weekend. But, anyway, I like your video on. I'm sorry, Dan. I'm not familiar with your channel, but Adam, I just recently subscribed to Adam's, and I like your video on the old welders. We've got a company here, yeah, we have a company called HGR. Look it up on the internet. It's here in Cleveland. It's in Euclid, Ohio, and they've got several across the country. But they're an industrial warehouse that surplus. They go to auctions, they buy closeout companies, and they sell welders. I bought a couple myself, and you had a video on buying welders sight unseen, or you can't run them and that type of thing. And HGR, they'll let you you buy it, you may pay as little as $25 for a welder, or as they're real open on their prices, and they'll give you 30 days because there's no way they could power it up there. They don't know any history on it, and you just take your best buyer beware site and buy it, and then they'll give you 30 days to take it home, try it, and most people will fix it up. If they got a good deal, most people will try to get it running and not bring it back. But check out HGR. They're pretty good on machine tools and stuff. Of course, you're far away, but like I said, they've got about 3 or 4 throughout the country.
Okay.
And Winter's Machine Shop. That's a new one to me. Hiya, sir.
How you doing?
Hey, Shane.
Yeah,
Shane.
Are you guys in the same area up there, or are you really far apart?
No, I'm PA.
Okay, I'm Ohio, Cleveland,
So,
I'm in Montana.
Montana. He's and you are in Washington. Not to be confused with Washington, D.C., right?
No.
Yeah, I'm retired. I taught welding. My last job was I taught welding at Ohio Technical College for 7 years, and got around retirement age and said, what the heck, I'm tired. But been doing it since 73, welding and machine shop, tool room machining. And
I caught your last video there, filling the axle shaft for machining.
oh, yeah. I got around to that. The story behind that is my nephew tore up the axle on a 4-wheeler, and he got. They live out on up on the islands of North and Lake Erie, and he got my cousin, who also lives in that area, to take it apart and see what's wrong with it. And I think he bent it, tore the bearings up and everything. So, long story short, they put a new one in, and my cousin goes, "You want this shaft?" And I said, "Yeah." And I started fooling around with it. And I said, "Hey, I'll try to straighten it out or find out what's wrong with it." And then I ended up just welding it all up and turning it down, sort of like making a video out of it. But that's about and I recently put up where I went to welding school in 1974, Cleveland School of Welding, which was a real old-timey welding school from 1927 till they closed up in 81. And about the time where I got a job after that, right out of high school. And a lot of companies in this area closed. A lot of big industrial shops closed up around 1981 during that recession. I mean, it wiped out this whole northeastern Ohio. And it took Cleveland School of Welding out. And Airco made a school here in the late 70s. And they also closed up in 81. So the only ones left up here is Cleveland. And where I was teaching welding at Ohio Technical, they were an automotive body shop, and they started out truck and diesel in the like 40s, and they became automotive, real big campus. And then in 2009, they linked up with Lincoln and set up a welding school, and it grew pretty big. And we were going really good until when I retired 2018, and COVID kind of wiped it out for a while. So I haven't really kept up. The school itself has gone from day and night to just days, so it's still pretty slow yet. But most people are self-taught welders. And with the advent of all, getting back to Adam's video on the welders, you're better off buying a transformer, rectifier, old school welder, in my opinion, if you're looking for something that's dependable and not a lot of headaches. You don't get all the bells and whistles like you get on these inverters and that, but you don't get the headaches. And like you said about the circuit board, Adam, we had them at the school. A good case in point, we had the Lincoln Precision TIGs 225, and they were brand new when our school started in 2009. And by the time they go, welding school is the toughest use and abuse you could ever put a welder, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And, those, we never had a failure with the Lincolns, and they have a circuit board. They're not inverters, they're transformer rectifier, but they've got what they call chopper technology through the inverter, so you can get all the balance and pulsing and that. And they're really rugged, but all of a sudden, right about the time I was retiring, about 9 years later, they all started to go. A little part of the circuit board that regulates the amperage looked like about a 5-cent little part just went out, and then the whole circuit board is $937 if you want to get the welder running. So the school just decided to get new ones as they went. But like I said, I would buy, to avoid that, although they are making them better now. But unless you're buying a brand new machine with a good 3-year warranty, for just fooling around, if you're not doing, any kind of, if you're not in a welding business, if you're just fooling around, I would go with the older welders, because my welders are all 50, 60 years old, 40 years old. And I don't do that much welding, but they serve my purpose.
Right.
So Shane's in his shop, or you're in the comfort of your home. Me too. It's too cold out there here. Like I said, we had a storm last night. It's damp and cold. And I was set up out there. I thought you were going to start at 2:00 when I sent you that email. And I was set up out there. And then I said, it's getting cold out here. I don't want to fire up all my heaters. And I said, I'm going to come inside. And then I just happened to turn on the computer in the house, and I seen the email that you guys are running. But do you have live chat going? Anybody chatting?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, a few people in there.
Let me take. Oh, okay. Now I could see it. I forgot how to work this, to tell you the truth. So it's going to private chat and comments. Small town machine shop. Yep. Okay, there we go.
You getting your planer figured out, Adam, or?
Everything except for I forget, I'm terrible at people's names. A lot of people directed me to a guy that does a lot of stuff with a planer. Oh, I don't remember his channel name. I talked to him about the pulley idea, because the pulley has to shift back and forth.
Right. Yep.
And then he talked about ways to instigate a clutch into it, which would be handy.
Yeah. Yeah. It would be nice to be able to feather it in for setup.
Yeah. So he gave me a lot of very helpful pointers on that.
I can't wait to see that up and running.
I know, it's going to be a cool machine. I've been trying to find anything I can on other machines, because it's missing the two bevel on it. So I've been someone removed them. The feed rod and stuff is still there, and all the mechanical stuff that rotates the rod. It's just the two bevel gears themselves.
Right.
So I've been getting measurements and trying to find stuff I need to do for that. Though even if in the end, if it doesn't power down feed, that's not a deal breaker on it or anything for me. So
Yeah, it's kind of same boat I'm in. Mine came without the shaft for the power down feed and everything. So I got to figure that out at some point. I'd like to get it working, but it's not like you said, it's not a deal breaker if it doesn't, I guess. You got me looking at every 2D milling machine that comes up on Marketplace or on eBay. That thing is cool.
yeah, I finally have all the bearings and stuff in for it now. So that's getting quick here on the list.
Yeah, they're pretty cool
Took me forever to
machines.
get some of the bearings for it, but
Yeah, I believe that. I hope I never have to put bearings in the Pratt and Whitney, because them things are unobtainable. So.
I need to figure out what to do with that 34-inch Camelback. It needs to be moved out of the shop so I can strip all the paint off it too.
Yeah.
But now they got the big radial arm drill. It kind of makes kind of do everything that machine will do and more. So
Yeah, that's a struggle I went through. At one point, I think I had 11 drill presses here, including the small Prentice Brothers Camelback, and I had to thin out the herd a little bit because, yeah, I brought the radio in, and it's same deal. It can do everything and more than that Camelback could.
yeah, I think I've got 7 drills out there and then some project ones outside. I like
Funny
that
how that happens.
Solberga.
Yeah, that's a nice looking drill.
I'm actually going to put a VFD on it because someone modified it so it doesn't have the high-low gearbox on it anymore. And they put a 5-horse instead of a 3-horse on it. So I'd like to putting a VFD on that whole different machine. So.
That's what I'm looking at. So whoever had the Pratt & Whitney before me going through that put a 10 horsepower motor on it. And the biggest VFDs I have are for 10 horse motors. So it'll run it, but you got to set it up kind of soft start to make it work. So I think I'm going to wire that straight in and just use the remote portions of the VFD to hook to the switch. And it'll just soft start it, get it running. So, should be fun.
You two guys, is your shop's 3-phase, or you're just running on a VFD everything, or do you have 3-phase available?
But yeah, no, my shop is, I either switch the motors to single phase or everything's on a VFD.
Okay, yeah,
It's just,
yeah, most,
I was a little too eager to get things running to,
yeah.
to mess with that.
Like in my area, I'm right in the city proper, but 3-phase is just unobtainable. I mean, it's right here. It's actually it's on the pole right behind my garage, but it's too expensive for what am I going to run? A 3-phase motor generator welder, or because in my area you could get 3-phase motor generators at, like, for instance, HDR. I was telling Adam, they've got one now for like $100, and they got dozens of them. Sometimes I haven't been out there, but I only have a single phase lathe. Again, if a 3-phase motor on a lathe, you'll get better finish. Or a
Yeah,
3-phase
it's a
or a
smoother running.
that's running VFD, which is actually converting it to single, or if you've got a phase generator. But you a 3, like we had in industry, we had a South Bend 13.5 lathe, and we had a Monarch big 16 tool room lathe that was, it was spec'd out for a tool room, and 3-phase. The finish is unbelievable. When I started my home, I got a home single phase lathe, and I go, why can't I get the finishes? I'd have the same tooling and everything. Why can't I get? And the old timers say, hey, you 3-phase, something about the harmonics and the speed, you get a better finish especially with carbide tools. But,
Yeah. Anything else? The rotaries are pretty good
15
because
horse.
so you have a 15 horse.
Yeah, that runs most of the things, and then I'm building a little 3-phase VFD power station. It's going to run 3 or 4 of the smaller machines. Just leave them plugged into it. I'm taking the VFD and I'm running it to 3 outlets.
Right. That's actually how mine's set up right now. It's I kind of made my own little load center, but I'd like to do something that's actually kind of legit. 'Cause it's a little reckless looking, but it gets the job done. So yeah, I think rotary's a little better because the wild leg that you're generating is coming from a 3-phase motor, so it's a little smoother of a voltage going into a 3-phase motor. Whereas like a static or a VFD, you're kind of generating an artificial third leg, which is kind of what Al was talking about. I think you get kind of choppy.
Yeah,
Mine's from a kit.
where are the comments coming from? Is that coming from YouTube? Is this being broadcast on YouTube, or how are they
Yes.
commenting? Oh,
Yep.
okay. Okay, I'll go over there and look, because I see a couple of my subscribers on there.
Yeah, my rotary phase converter, it's one of the kit was like $130. All you have to supply is the motor and the cabinet. It came with all the capacitors, all the switching stuff, all the run start capacitors, and all that stuff. And I've been very happy with that setup.
Yeah, that's what I got to do. I actually at one point I have no idea what the actual rating was on it, but it was a roto phase, and I think it said it started 20 horse motor and run a 90 horse shop, but the thing was like a 55-gallon drum. It sat in the back of my truck, and my truck squatted down like 4 inches, and yeah, it's like, wires like that coming out of it, and I was, I'm not wiring it up. That's no. I'm gonna blow the fuses at the pole or something. It's so. But yeah, that's the way to go. I think I'd like to do rotary phase converter with a load center and actually wire up everything so I can just walk over to it, flip a switch, and it's on.
Yeah.
Of course, it's as many machines as you have, Adam, and holy crap. My setup wouldn't do you good.
I have a transformer in there. I was going to make my own 440 volt. I haven't messed with that yet.
Normally pretty ballsy about wiring stuff up, but sometimes it's I gotta know my limitations.
Oh, that's nice, Shane. They got the wheels off that big grinder finally. So in the next couple of weeks, ship them off and get them inspected and trued up and all that. I should just get rid of that thing. It's totally unpractical for my needs, but it's so cool. I just can't.
Yeah. Yeah, the cool factor keeps a lot of machines around here too. Yeah, some things you just can't get rid of.
I mean, the stones are so aggressive on it. I mean, it just. But how often do you run across a 24-inch pedestal grinder?
Not very often. Good for big drill bits, I guess.
Doing material removal, it's fast. It is insanely fast.
What horsepower is it? 3 or 5 horse?
10.
10. Yeah, I bet it is fast.
I don't know, 10 horse.
I bet you can't stall it either.
The first time I turned it on with a broomstick and stood away from it and let it run for like an hour Got in front of it. I actually met him, Daniel, when I was picking up my shaper. The same guy was selling a lathe that Will guy was buying. That Will, the blacksmith guy.
Yeah, why can't I think of his name? Used to be with Alex Steele. He's out in Montana, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, that Firebolt tool guy, I think, had a forklift there and kindly loaded my shaper for me.
We got any projects coming up, or any of you guys?
I was getting that mill in the shop. I'll have the last of the paint stripped off it today. Then that's 3B. And I can finally start digging into it.
I'm definitely looking forward to that, to seeing that.
Yeah, that'd be a handy machine.
As for me, my only project right away is not in the shop, it's on the shop. I got to start painting my shop doors, garage doors. I got two an 8x8 and a 8x7 overhead door, and they're getting pretty grody. So I got that. As soon as the weather breaks, that's my biggest concern right now.
Same here. I'm waiting for the weather to change so I can get outdoors and get stuff done.
Yeah, it's a little too cold and wet and stormy here yet. You get a good day. Yesterday was a good day, but we had 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts, and like I said, it knocked all our power out in this area. Still, they don't even, half of them aren't getting it back till Tuesday. Luckily, I didn't get mine knocked out. But that's the same storm that moved through Mississippi. It did a lot of damage last night and come up through the Northeast.
Well, I'm retired, so I got
tailstock tomorrow.
Yeah, man. If it's a 41 and you're able to get it, man, I'd probably sell something to buy that. Yeah, I've been looking for one of those for a while, and I was going to make a video series making one, which, I mean, would be a viable option, but it'd be a lot better to have the original piece.
Yeah. Daniel's working on some injection molds. And yeah, like I said earlier, buddy coming over CNC table I picked up to test motors and stuff on it.
Oh, is that one you did they give it to you? Is that what you said, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about the best deal you can get there.
Yeah, they're the same shop that gave me that Van Norman milling machine.
I gotta find more shops like that.
Adam, what number Van Norman do you have? My cousin has a number 10. Van Norman? My cousin.
I want to say it's a 24T.
Okay, that's a big one.
That's what pops in my head.
Yeah, he's got a little 10. They're real rare, and it's got the vertical attachment, but it's small. going by the numbers, I think as the number goes up, the bigger they are. You must have a pretty good size one, like a Cincinnati. Or is it a horizontal?
It's got the rotating head.
Right. That's
Built
what my
onto it.
cousin had.
Hey, Marcel.
They made good machines.
Yeah, hopefully the weather breaks here
Right on
soon.
that till.
The Netherlands. Okay.
Just catching up in chat here.
Yeah, myself too.
I got there's a, I was telling them earlier, 8 or 30-inch vertical turret lathe. I got wind of. It's ancient. It is ancient, but it's in good shape. It's in operation right now. So
Yeah, you definitely need a VTL in your shop. I think everybody needs VTL in their shop.
yeah, the only HBMs that show up here are like massively huge. Nothing that would come close to fitting him up.
Yeah, I love using that HBM. If you find one, you'll love it. You'll do real itty bitty tiny stuff on it just to use it. I promise.
I get asked to do a lot of. I do a lot of pump work in my shop and stuff like that, and that's what I do at work. Is a lot of pump work. It'd be nice to be able to do some bigger pump jobs.
Yeah.
Adam, do you do much work with O-ring ports?
No, not really.
Because I've got a complete set of O-ring cutters, O-ring port cutters that I'll probably never use again.
Yeah, I used to make counter bores for
I'd buy
porting.
them off you.
Yeah, I worked for a company in the 80s called Teledyne Republic Valve, and I worked in the tool room, and I used to make counter bores for porting the valves, hydraulic valves, and that each counter bore had all the O-ring, cuts in it, stuff for threading, so they would just stick it in an Acme machine or whatever they're running. Of course, it was all replaced by CNC later, but we made the tooling for hard hinge machines, Acme Gridley, and turret lathes, all counter bores. And it would do everything in one shot, porting, opening it up, threading.
Well, that's what I did is I made hydraulic manifolds.
Okay.
Had quite the complement of port cutters and cavity tools and drills. A lot of drilling.
Yeah, these were the end part of the counter bore would cut. They would just drill a pilot hole, and then run that counter bore in, and it would open up the diameter, put the taper for the tapered pipe thread, cut the O-rings, face the top, all in one operation. And I used to I used to braze the carbide ones, and we also made high-speed steel ones, and re-tipped the carbide ones, and plus I did all their welding in the tool room. And that was my primary job, though, was the counter bores for a long time until it started getting replaced by CNC. And
Right.
slowly and steady, the CNC replaced everything we did, except the welding. Yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot more CNC
I
welding
still
going
use
on now,
mostly
too.
high-speed steel in my shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
M42, and I've got a big block of M2. But I don't have any use for it. Any of you guys do your own heat treating or, torch heat treating, small stuff? I've done a lot of that. In fact, in the tool room, we did a lot of small tools that they needed right away. Instead of sending it out to heat treating, we learned to do it ourselves on the smaller stuff, and turn out all right. But you've got to know what you're doing. Or
Right. Yeah, I'm limited to at least my heat treat oven is the 6x6x9, so smaller
Okay.
stuff. I mean, flame hardening you can do, but
yeah,
I like the accuracy of using a thermocouple and knowing what temperature I'm at and timing it.
well, if any of you guys follow Stan from I forgot it. He sells the hot shot ovens. He invented the hot shot oven, and then now he has a manufacturer making them. But it was from Stan Zinkowski. I can't think of his YouTube handle, but he sells a small hot shot oven with controllable heat treating and all that. Pretty nice unit, but I don't have any use for. I've got such small use in my little shop that to justify something that nice. But I do a lot of torch heat treating. I got
My
some
buddy's
videos.
shop.
Mm-hmm.
My buddy's
That's
shop has a big heat treating setup, so I just drop parts off to him and have him do it for me.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they nitride it, and they have the gas. They do it all with gas now, and not the old way. In our area, heat treating, there's so much stringent, requirements for EPA and all that. All the chrome plating and heat treating shops kind of vanished, and there's still some around. Only the biggest ones that can afford to keep up with all the standards and that. I'm sure that in the outskirts, though, there's still plenty of them.
Most of the parts I did were either aluminum or cast iron, a Durabar cast iron. And the iron ones they sent out when they were done, they'd nickel plate them.
Right.
Aluminum ones were always anodized.
Anodized it, give it a surface treatment.
Yeah, just to keep the corrosion at a minimum. And yeah, that iron would rust really easy. So nickel plating helped prevent the rust.
Mm-hmm. The shed shop.
Yeah, Daniel, I mostly use high-speed steel because I'm cheap.
I don't know. High speed steel is good if you need to make special form tools. That's what I use mostly for that. If I need to make a snap ring groove or a bow ring groove or something like that, I put them on the tool grinder and get all my relief angles perfect. And so, plus most of my machines are slow, so high speed steel works a little better than carbide anyhow.
Well, when I was in the tool room, they were just changing over from brazed carbide. The inserts started coming in big time right when CNC was starting to develop, even before that. And at one time, carbide was so expensive, and like you said, now with all the imports, it's not that expensive, but it's tough to work with and grind. And high speed steel usually, if you're not in any hurry, just slow your spindle speeds down, and high speed will work just fine. Unless you're making production parts where you need a high finish and you need the speed, or you're cutting harder materials. But if you're just cutting mild steel and soft materials like aluminum, although they use carbide on aluminum too because it stays sharp, but high speed will do you. It's all I have. I don't even own. I think I got a couple carbide spade drills and center drills, and that's it. I don't even have carbide end mills or drills. I use all high speed or coated. Again, it's just a home machine shop. It's nothing to write home about, but it serves me well.
I get some carbon or carbide drills for drilling stuff out, broken stuff. It's about all I use them for.
Oh yeah, one
do you use a lot of spade drills, Shane?
Yeah.
Say what?
Do you use spade drills, Shane?
Well, I'd really like to, but long story. I have one or two that I can use on the HBM, but I recently ordered a bunch that I could use. I think 5 drill bodies and a bunch of drill inserts for the radial drill and possibly the HBM. And the USPS only gave me the inserts and a giant hole in the box. So, but yeah, they work well though. The one that I can actually use.
My buddy uses them a lot on the lathe, but he has a reduction tailstocks on them, and he says you pretty much have to use them on a lathe. Or that's how he prefers it, I guess.
I mean, they're definitely more rigid than just a long taper shank drill, depending on the size you're using.
Yeah. Okay, Daniel, cool. Carbide tool source. Let me make a note of that. I'm actually looking for a smaller hydraulic press too, like a 50-ton. I like the 100-ton, but it has like no feel to it whatsoever.
Yeah.
Either pushes it out or just it explodes on the table.
I have an older 50 ton, and you can kind of feel what's going on, but it's. I used to have a Weaver screw press, and that was great. That was only 20 ton, but it had a wheel on an acme
Oh, yep,
thread
yep.
rod, and you would just it's like a ratchet ball. And
Mhm.
that thing, you could feel everything you were pressing in. You could feel the resistance. You'd know if you were smashing something or blowing a bearing out. Or
I get calls sometimes from people that want me to push forklift tires on, stuff like that. I don't mess
oh
around with
man,
any of that.
the old ones weren't so bad, but now they have the newer ones have that lock ring that you got to press the tire and then pull the ring out to pull them off. That's I've seen them do that. That can get sketchy, I think.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shane, I just realized I'm subscribed to your channel. I'm checking
Yeah,
out.
I subscribe to yours when you subscribe to mine.
Oh, great, thank you.
So
I've been away from YouTube. But I've been spending way too much time watching. I'm more of an observer than participant, and I had in order to get things done. I've been kind of. There's Kimber Zek. I subscribe to him. Kimber Zelek. Hey, Kimber. I'm just checking out who's. I'm gonna check out Dan there. See if I'm. I used to subscribe to a lot of the rail guys. Train Man 4602, I believe is. Let's see, let's see, Dan site.
yeah, I used to watch just a few channels, and then I started making videos and talking to other guys, creators that make YouTube videos, and I didn't realize how vast and wide the YouTube community is. Even
Yeah.
just machine shop creators is. It's actually pretty overwhelming to try and keep up with everybody and keep up with
Yeah.
my own work, and I try.
Yeah.
Kimber, I sent you a link. I'm not sure how many people I can have up here.
Kimber, I don't know if I subscribe to you or not yet, buddy. I keep meaning to, but I'd like to swap stickers with you at some point as well. So, or anybody else that needs some stickers, I got shop stickers. Uh, Trying to get them to creators.
Same here. I have shop stickers. Check out my YouTube channel and send me shoot me an email and I'll send you a sticker.
Yeah, we'll do.
Let's see, Kimber.
Dan, what do you do mostly on your channel? More of a. I caught you talking to Adam in the last live stream, and I've been meaning to check your channel out. I've just been so freaking busy. It's I lose volume.
So,
Yeah, I watch Kimber's stuff a lot. I really like his film.
Yeah, well, I know he has a nice
Works on a
little
lot of really
Pratt-
random things.
Pratt Whitney.
Yeah.
I think I'm getting some lag on the feed here.
Hey, Dan, talk about your rail channel. A couple of guys asked you about your rail. I'm trying to find you on YouTube right now.
Well, my name was back in 08 when I started my channel. I was into sand buggies, sand rails. And
Okay.
we'd go down to the Oregon coast and run them a lot. And that name just stuck, and I've just kept it. I got rid of the buggies in about 2012, I believe. I got out of it because it got too expensive, and there was too crowded at the dunes. Had too many close calls, and and there for a while. Several years. I made engine adapters to put V6s and V8s onto the VW transmissions. So it was kind of part of my business. For a couple of years, I was selling 100 kits a year. And after 08, when we had the slowdown, a lot of people started buying side-by-sides, and they weren't spending money on home-built buggies.
Oh,
So that business kind of went away after 08. So,
yeah. Speaking about engine adapters, I've got a Willys Jeep that's all different years. It's got a 51 Ford flathead V8 engine in it. It's a 43 Ford GPW Army chassis and drivetrain, and a 54 Willys cab, a body. And the guy I bought it from in the tool room, his father got it as a World War II Jeep that was hit by a mortar after World War II. And at that time in the late 40s after the war, there was a machine shop that was selling adapter plates so you could put car motors in these Army Jeeps, and where they could keep up with traffic. So he got the aluminum. It's like a 2-inch thick aluminum adapter plate that would adapt any car motor, a V8, flathead Ford V8 or 6-cylinder. And that was a good idea for a machine shop at that time. And it still runs like a sewing machine. I have it. It doesn't get much gas mileage though. And it still runs like a sewing machine. I have it. I'm on the wrong side here. Yeah.
Who we're looking at?
Still runs like a sewing machine. I have it. I'm on the wrong side here.
There we go. Who we're looking at?
Sorry.
There we go. Who we're looking at?
That's my fault. I had 2 YouTube channels open. I closed them off. Sorry about that, guys. My fault. I had 2 channels open. I closed them off. Sorry about that, guys.
I did as well.
My fault. I had 2 channels open. I closed them off. Sorry about that, guys.
I did as well.
My fault. I had 2 channels open. I closed them off. Sorry about that, guys.
I did as well.
My fault. I had 2 channels open. I closed them off. Sorry about that, guys.
I did as well.
That's Kimball's fault now. That's Kimball's fault now. That's Kimball's fault now.
A cool little remix we got going on here.
So I've never done this before. before. I guess I need to turn my computer off if I'm streaming from my phone and use the phone. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, big lag time.
You just want one thing on. Because
There we go.
I messed up and had a YouTube channel open and with the sound on, and it was messing you guys up.
Like I said, I think I missed anything you might have sent me earlier because I kind of slept in today. That means I slept till like 3 in the afternoon. It's a different lifestyle.
So I put up a background of my old buggy. This is the last one I built.
Okay, sand rails. Okay.
Beautiful.
That one had a
That's nice.
3.7 Acura out of an MDX.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a nice one. It had power steering and bypass shocks and all kinds of good stuff on it. 20 inches of wheel travel, a little over 300 horsepower.
That can't be that heavy for having 300 horsepower. What's the weight on something like that?
That's about 2,000 pounds.
It probably moved pretty good then with sand.
Yeah, that was the second car. The first car I built was lighter and faster and way more power, but it was hard to drive. The first one was turbocharged.
Yeah.
It was kind of like riding a dirt bike. It was real, power was on or off.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm familiar with that.
Kind of old metal machines.
But yeah, I made some dash panels, some steps for them. I had a whole line of gear shift knobs, all kinds of stuff to piece those together.
I like the scoop tires on there, Dan. Is that what they call those tires? Scoop
They're paddles
paddles.
on the back.
Yeah, that's pretty aggressive. Kimber, can you hear me?
Yes.
What kind of weather did you get down there last night?
Windy. Paul.
Yeah, we had a dry wind and knocked everybody's power out here in Cleveland, knocked everything out in Northeast Ohio. I mean, they're over 100,000 without power up here. And now it's down to about 80,000. And they're saying that they won't get their power on till as late as Tuesday.
Yeah, we've been very fortunate in this area so far.
Good to hear.
That's tough.
Yeah, it missed me. And the First Energy site had everything all around me knocked out. And I go, I went out there and got my generator ready. I said, I know they're going to cut it and it's going to cut out, but it didn't. Nothing went out. So that's good to hear for both of us.
You know, anytime I have an audience with YouTube, I want to show my appreciation for the generosity of this community, and it just blows me away that, you know, guys like you are tuning in and looking at me, you know, and I've received a lot of help from people, and you know, I know my content ain't the greatest, but yet nevertheless, I'm blown away by the amount of support that comes from, even the big names,
Right.
So.
Well, your channel grew pretty good, pretty quick, and it's growing. It's not like mine.
I think we all probably feel like we're kind of stagnant.
Yeah, maybe just a little. But that's fine.
I wonder what really makes the difference.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I tell you, I don't understand how it works.
I know, one legitimate way. I know A-Bomb was down in Mississippi at, melting the iron, and he put his arm around this young lady and introduced her, and she went from like 400 subscribers to 4,000 overnight. So that kind of thing might help, but
I just got to go give A-Bomb a hug then, or what?
I guess presence doesn't do shit.
I'm not going to Florida.
The last person who needs anything given to him.
Well, what helped me during the COVID, Harold Waters down there in Texas for ARW, he started the YouTube on StreamYard like this because everybody was in their house, during COVID, and
Sure.
And my channel grew from like 150 subscribers, which I hovered around 150 for about 10, 12 years. And then when he started that, it's doubled now. I'm at 300. So continued progress.
Well, you're greater than 300, aren't you?
No, I have 300 as of right now. I just got a couple more subscribers. I think Adam was one of my last few recent subscribers, and possibly Shane. And I don't put. You got to put out videos. That's my problem. I don't know. I just don't. My idea of making a video is something that I think is really great that I did, and I want to put out there. So when I'm gone, that somebody will see it. It would be nice that you get an income. I mean, it's nice that you'd get compensated for what you're doing, because after all, even someone like me, I've got thousands and thousands of views on my videos have been up since 2008. I've got one video that's up to like 80,000 views. YouTube's making money on it,
Yeah.
and I'm not getting anything, and I just can't get anywhere. So that's what I don't care about, the money, as far as, even if you have 1,000 subscribers, you'll get something, but you're not going to get very much, but you got to grow the channel, but it's very hard, to figure out how to grow the channel. I never could figure it out. And like you said, you got to maybe travel around, be on other people's sites, and do, and create videos. Now they got these shorts, create shorts, and then you see people that, just keep creating videos for the sake of creating videos. And if you like doing it, see, that's what it is. I don't like editing. I don't like camera work. See, so, you could tell by my subscribers.
I don't edit any of my videos. I just stitch them together and throw them up there.
Well, I shoot them live, and then I go on eBay and edit them on their editor, and that's as far as I go. But the guys that you get out of something what you put into it, and I'm sure. But there's ways to, like you said, I've always commented on the big name sites, and I'm sure I've gotten a few subscribers that way. But whatever, just keep plugging away. It's fun to talk to people all over the country and the world. So
Absolutely.
That's what I enjoy.
I feel like, making contact handing out stickers is helpful. Also, you get shout outs.
Yeah, I was late to the party on that. In fact, I was Kimber. I used your company to get my stickers. You had a link to the, and that gave me the idea recently to have some stickers made, and that kind of helped. I've got stickers from all kinds of guys. I got it on my board, and they've sent me extras. Kimber was very generous. He sent me 4.
I
And
I colorized my logo and sent this to them, and they did this shirt. It was a special $14, for a T-shirt.
right.
And it's not a very high quality print or anything, but neat to have one for.
That's good. So
I made an offer to just send somebody my artwork, and they could contact that company and have their own shirt made, and they, I wouldn't be making nothing. They could get it for a good price, and it is not about the money, really. I mean, it would be great if you could quit your full-time job and become a YouTuber, but maybe. But it's not. It's about, like you said earlier, making the contacts. People all over the world. It's really quite amazing.
Right. It seems we all have something to offer, and it's nice to have people that can comment, and if you have a question, you can get an answer. So it's the interface with everybody is nice.
Dan, are you putting out videos currently? Or are you guys?
Yeah, I do videos once in a while, but I'm retired, and lately I've been just doing my homestead. We moved 2 years ago, and I built a house, and that's been the focus of my channel, is just updates on the house and the move. So my whole channel has been all over the place since I started it.
When you say that, are you talking about off-grid living, or?
No, we're not off-grid. We moved up into the mountains of Montana.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
We were in Portland, Oregon, and it was kind of a retirement plan.
Beautiful plan. Good time.
And yeah, I show my tractor. I show my, clearing, all kinds of stuff here on the property. But yeah, I'm not locked into any one topic as far as my videos go.
Well, I think that's a good thing.
Well, I had to sell most of my machines to move over here. I've still got a lathe, a little drill press, bandsaw. I can make little fabrication stuff. But I sold all the big machines, and I just couldn't afford to bring those over. And plus, that's what retirement's about.
Well, you should be able to work on getting a milling machine up there in the near future anyway.
Well,
Couple years.
I wanted to keep my old one, but it was a 600-mile move, and I didn't want to haul it over here.
Well, anywhere you get it from now is going to be a good trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got out of Portland just in time, I think.
Yeah. We pretty much planned it well.
Well, I'll check you out. I enjoy all that stuff.
Well, most of my views come from my home-built sawmill. I made that homemade sawmill, and that's been the bulk of the views I get. That's why I'm kind of anxious to get it uncovered. It's still iced in right now, but I'm anxious to get it fired up and get it working again.
Well, I'm sure that'll happen. Time you might don't rush it. Yeah, I watch. I mean, wide variety of content from Garden Tractor Boy. People dealing with their yard tractors, excavate, put on excavating. Let's dig 18.
Yeah, same here.
And my wife's like, "How do you watch this guy operate that excavator for an hour?" I can't. I have no.
Yeah, I worked in construction in the 80s when machine shop and welding was out in this area. I worked for one of the largest dump truck operators in Cleveland, Morabito Trucking, and I was a new fish in a new industry, and it took me like 500% to do what all those guys did, second nature, because that's all they did. And but that I did that for 7 years, and then I got tired of driving around in the dirt and I finally got back into teaching welding. But I find myself watching Let's Dig, loading trucks, and I watch Andrew Camarada, and I was telling the guys earlier that I spend too much time. I'm retired, but there's stuff that you got to do, and I watch all the stuff that I did, and it's amazing. It really is. It's amazing that you could go all over the world and watch people like Andrew Camarada and Let's Dig and Dirt Boss. I got my Dirt Boss coffee cup now, so I'm a real Dirt Boss fan.
You got the Mueller guy who built the concrete house. That was pretty amazing.
Oh yeah, the friend of Andrew. Yeah, yeah. And
Sometimes you watch these guys, and I don't know. I keep going back to well, they're so much more knowledgeable than me, but then I see them doing things, really foolish stuff. It's like, no, dummy.
Yep.
They achieve far more than I do, though.
Yeah, it's amazing. Some of these guys what they're able. One that really amazes me is Andrew Camarada. That he's got all that equipment. He's one man, one young man, and the guys that I worked in construction were these guys. That they'll knock you out. They'll knock you out in one punch just as soon as look at you. And here he is. He's real quiet. He never gets mad. He never swears. He never. And yet, look what he's able to accomplish. It's. He's the exception to the rule there. I mean, that is really something. Shows you how far you can go.
Yeah, he's a forward thinker, that's for sure.
Yeah.
He doesn't do anything without a plan.
All right. And we all do that. We all repair our own houses. We repair our own shop. We fix this, fix that. And he's doing all that, tenfold, 20-fold. And I'm sure there's many others, Let's Dig and this guy right here. Anybody subscribe to him? This is Frank Cunningham from Digging OK.
No.
He's in Oklahoma, and he's he has Cunningham Backhoe. I got one of his stickers. I think I hung it up already, but he's a very interesting channel. When I was young, my dad had a backhoe. When I was around 15, my dad had a dump truck and backhoe, and he used to dig lifts. He used to install, the car lifts with the guy all over Northeast Ohio. And that we had that old backhoe, and I got pictures of that somewhere. But, that's like centuries ago for me now. But I enjoy it. But I say I watch too much video. That's why I'm not putting out too much video for myself.
You mentioned we all work on our own homes, and I have so many things that I neglect because of this machine in my garage. I'm also retired, and while
my people,
wake up,
greetings, YouTubers.
I would sleep for 2 or 3 hours.
Someone Someone,
The metalworking.
someone's playing my channel.
On my channel.
I'm
Like, comment, and
guess
subscribe. Email me.
Whoops, that was me. Sorry. You have a new subscriber.
I thought it sounded familiar.
Yeah.
I thought I did something wrong here.
I didn't realize the video was going to play when I clicked on your channel. So you're up to 301 now.
Adam, you probably already for this, but how's your new machines coming? Your shop build?
Good.
Adam,
Hopefully today I'll be moving the. Yep.
does anybody watch DD out of
Yep.
Spokane?
Yeah.
Seen beauty.
So you're,
He's pretty amazing. Pretty funny.
Yeah.
Adam, you're on the West Coast. Is that right?
so I guess this is how you're supposed to be popular on YouTube. I guess.
I'll
Hi.
subscribe, I'll subscribe to you.
Mr. Crispin, yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Mr. Crispin and Keith Farner had some kind of interaction, and Keith Farner was making a statement like, well, I hope the young man is, learning his craft and all this. And I'm thinking, man, Mr. Crispin has probably surpassed you.
Or get a cigar. All right, you guys. All right, you guys.
Mr. Crispin's pretty amazing in his knowledge base.
That's my grandfather's hat. Old Italian.
Is that a fedora?
Yeah, this was in Cleveland. There used to be Mike the Mad Hatter shop downtown where all the old people bought their hats, and it closed in like the early 70s. This is about 68. Made in USA. You don't see that anymore.
Yeah, Mr. Crispin gets into some pretty cool technical stuff.
Yeah, he's a pretty sharp dude.
Yeah.
But
I enjoy watching C.A. Lem, the guy from Vietnam, made a 3-jaw scroll truck and all kinds of cool stuff.
I'll
Is he-
check that out.
Is he the one with the sticker that's a milling machine?
Oh man, I honestly couldn't tell you. What do you make? He tried to make his own power scraper, I think semi-successfully. He's a smart dude.
Yeah. Some of the stuff coming off the dirt floors in India is pretty interesting also.
yeah, I get a kick out of a lot of that third world stuff where you see somebody all crouched down like they're in sandals and shorts, and they're welding with a hand shield, stick welding with a hand shield, and they use like 6013 stick rods, and that's like the only rod available in the whole third world. And it's really funny, like we're in our, in the United States, we have everything available to us, and they've got like these ancient transformers, that rectifiers that are hooked up to like their power line that comes through their little village, but they do amazing work. Some
Yeah,
of them,
They get it done.
yeah, they get it done. They have heavy equipment. They'll take like a piece of scrap metal and just build it all up with weld and make a gear. And
To see a guy make a hypoid gear on a lathe is pretty damn impressive.
yeah, Yeah,
Yeah.
and no fancy equipment. It's amazing. I'm not shooting them down in any way, shape, or form,
No.
but it's what they done so much with so little for so long. They could do almost anything with almost nothing.
Well said.
Yeah. I got to look at the chat.
Oh, is there a chat?
Yeah, you have to look on YouTube, but you got to make sure you shut the volume off on YouTube so it don't feed back
I got you.
on small town machine shops live stream. So when you open that up, make sure you hit the mute, or you'll be driving us all crazy. See, that's what the chat is, actually the comments. Pretty interesting, guys.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think the main thing is, like Adam said, as far as getting viewers, it's just putting out regular videos, and that is difficult. That's because this isn't my main job. Kind of the same as Adam. I have a day job, and I do this in my spare time, which is shrinking.
Yeah.
I know with Adam's yard sale videos, a lot of people look forward to those. Those are good to have on an annual basis.
I don't like them, but I watch them religiously.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually take bets on how many hacksaws he's going to bring home.
Yeah.
None this week.
Oh man, cost me $20.
He's
You
had
find,
quite a few spanners.
you find some pretty good stuff though every week.
Yeah. And the other thing with YouTube is they're really pushing the shorts now. I don't like doing them, but if you don't do them, it seems like they throttle you a bit.
Yeah, I guess I ought to start doing them. I put a lot of shorts on Instagram and Facebook, but I don't. I guess I ought to start putting them on YouTube.
Yeah, just take a 60-second, snippet out of one of your videos and hopefully have something interesting.
In the early days of YouTube, one of the first guys I watched was Mr. Pete 222. He was one of the first home machine shop guys, and he's a retired instructor. Sure, you guys all heard of him. And also Keith Fenner from Turn Right Machine. And anyway, especially I was an avid watcher of Keith, and I've seen him actually ruin work in order to make videos, and he actually, because you're breaking your concentration. You're doing a video, and yet you're doing machine shop precision work, and he's a job shop, and I've seen where, he didn't say it outright, but he's actually ruined a part that he was making, because he's more constant. Your attention split up, and that's what. I say in my videos, I'm sorry, YouTubers, my work comes first. I says, you come second. And and my subscribers show that. My subscriber rate shows that. But I mean, I'm out here making stuff for me. I don't have a business, but I'm just doing stuff that at one time I did have a little sideline of anvils I made. I made weight training equipment, you know, plus my regular job. But, you know, it's then all of a sudden you become a video producer, and then what's your priority? And that's where I think everybody struggles. And the guys that really are successful they decide that they're going to be a video producer first, and everything else comes second. But in some things you can do that, like a cooking show or a gardening show or something. But precision machining and brain surgery or say rebuilding cars or something that really requires a lot of expensive tooling and machines and everything. That's where I think, and then guys, once they get up to 500,000 subscribers and the money's rolling in from YouTube, then I guess they would, hey, I'll be a producer of videos more than I'll be doing the work will just come secondary. And I think that's what the struggle everybody has, with this. It's still new, even to us old folks, this is really, it's taken me it was a hard learning curve for me to do this stuff. Where younger, the younger you are, the better you are. And I mean, I'm talking teenagers. My nieces and nephews can come here and can turn this stuff around like nothing, from a phone. They can do what it takes me a PC to do, they can do from a phone. So I think that's the struggle everybody has with this technology, that it's how much effort you're going to put towards. Now, this is really nice. We got 5 guys that are pretty much, in the same field, but yet we're also trying to learn the YouTube side of it, from more or less. But this is a good way to exchange information and grow your channel.
I find it very hard to work and film at the same time.
Me too. Oh yeah.
I might set up something just to film it, but then go back to actually doing my work, especially when taking machines apart. And, I just can't, I guess if I had 2 other people with cameras watching me, it would make more sense. But, I just can't, I need to concentrate on what I'm doing.
Well, yeah, everyone does, and that's the problem I always had. I just get frustrated, and I'll just shut the camera off and say, I got to finish this up, or I'm going to mess this up. And well,
I'm usually doing something, and halfway through it, maybe I should be filming this.
Yeah, that's what I do. I say I should have filmed it. I've already done with it. I'm used to working fast. I said, man, that would have made a good video. Oh well.
Mhm.
Oh well. Next time.
The kind of flip side of that is I get a lot of jobs in that I can't. I either am not to record them, or it's stuff that needs to get done fast, like same day type situations. So there's no time to pick up a camera and record it. It's just, that's been my last month. So
some of the guys that I watch in construction, you can see that they're out on jobs and they're getting the dirty looks for filming on site. People don't want to be filmed, working or and they for insurance purposes and for everybody, something happens, you're filming it. It's where we don't have that problem in our shops, but it's a lot to it. It's another aspect.
I'd say generally what I do is set a camera up on a tripod, try and get it where you can see what's happening, and I edit it later, try and get some decent shots and talk about procedure. That's all I can really do.
So do you You narrate over your.
No, I don't. I've considered doing it. I just kind of speak as I'm machining.
Right.
You know, that's a good point, Kimber. When I first started with YouTube, there was a way that I would narrate over my video with just a microphone, and I can't seem to do that anymore with the YouTube editors. They've changed something, and I can't remember how I did it. But I've made a couple of videos where and now you know, unless you have special software, I guess. But I can't seem to where I would just shoot my video, come in into the YouTube studio, and I would edit with a microphone, and you know, just cut out my volume on the video and just talk over as it goes along, and then I would save it. I can't seem to do that anymore. I've forgotten how, or that it's not available.
It would be worth looking at.
I use a free software called Shotcut, and I do all my editing in there.
Mm-hmm.
And you can do voiceover with that software. But it's a freebie.
Shop Tech.
Shot. SHOT. CUT. Shotcut.
Shotcut. Okay, I'll write that down.
It's a free editor.
Thank you.
It takes a little getting used to, but all software does.
Yeah. Well, I was using Windows Movie Maker, and but I don't know what I used about 10 years ago where I think it's just right straight to YouTube, and in their editor I was able to put the voiceover.
Yeah, I used to use Windows Movie Maker, but I don't know. I abandoned it a long time ago.
I think I had it, and I added something to my computer, and it denied me access to some of the Windows programs. So I was forced to go on to FilmForth, and all that is a big learning for me.
Well, that Shotcut has there's a lot of support on YouTube. If you just do your search on YouTube, you can learn how to do it through them.
Okay. I'll check that out. Thanks, Dan.
Sure.
Free is good.
Well, I had the free version of Movie Maker, and then it just stopped working. It got, they got tired of me using it free, I guess, or something. And I just, I bought some minimum, whatever the minimum term of it is. And then it started working again. As soon as I got the pros, upgraded it a little bit, and it wasn't much. It was a real cheap upgrade. And then the darn thing started working, but I never could get that voiceover to work, even in that.
Kimber, what is your Pratt and Whitney? I can't remember. Is that a Model C or a B?
It's a Model B.
It's a B.
12 by. Yeah. Prior to that, this is my lathe. It's a 7x10 hard right, and it's such a small little thing. It's amazing, but it was really cool to get a real machine, and I eventually took the whole thing apart a couple times, and that was another thing with the YouTube community's generosity. I hadn't had any contact with Brian Block in the past at all, and all of a sudden I have an email from him. And he's responded to a video that I'd made discussing the process of buying this South Bend lathe. Now, he emails me out of the blue and says, "Don't give that guy any of your money about this." And he found this lathe for me up in Cleveland. He had a purchase that he was having shipped down to Kentucky so we threw my lathe on that truck and kind of saved a little in shipping. And it's I really want a milling machine. I see, Adam discards these. He finds all these milling machines and all this stuff. I'm like, where are these guys at? But I mean, if I had a milling machine, the learning would start all over again from from
What
scratch, from learning.
What state are you in?
I'm in southwestern Ohio, around Dayton, Ohio.
Okay.
Okay. I wonder, Kimber, I wonder if you got that machine from HGR up here in Cleveland.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Yeah, I got a lot of stuff from them. I was telling the guys earlier about that. Everybody that's interested in that, check HGR out, because they've got about 3 or 4 of them throughout the United States, I guess, and they've got deals.
And they will arrange shipping. And my lathe was on eBay at the time for around $2,000. But if you went to HGR's website, they drop the price a certain percentage every week or every month.
Yeah, and they'll negotiate with you.
I paid less than $650 for the lathe.
Oh man.
So
Yeah.
that was my kind of price.
Well, I have a buddy that was recently out there. I guess he made the trip from my area around Harrisburg, VA, and he said a lot of stuff on the website. He said there's probably triple or quadruple what's on the website at their actual warehouse. It's insane.
Yeah. Well, that's how many companies that close up. Sorry to say, in the U.S. I've been to everyone I worked for is gone.
Yeah.
Except for the welding school. God bless them.
They say this area, Ohio, Michigan, Indiana, Pennsylvania, was kind of the heart of the industry.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And all the support companies were around here too.
Right. The automotive, and I worked at Warner and Swayze, was my first full-time job as I was supposed to be I had machine shop in high school, and I was supposed to be a machinist trainee in their apprenticeship program. But right before they hired me, they dropped the apprenticeship program, and they said, "You could weld. You want to be a welder?" It's okay. Anything to work at Warner and Swayze. And I ended up building their machine bases for 3.5 years.
Well, I tell you, it's been a life-changing experience for me, seriously. I mean, since I've retired and a little bit prior, I'm almost obsessed with machines, taking them apart, putting them back together, making, making odd things, that please me.
It's definitely addictive, I believe, dealing with old machines, and somehow ended up being a collector of old machines.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, well, just to take a hunk of steel, and turn it into something, quite an accomplishment. To me, I mean, a lot of the stuff I first got the mini lathe, and most of the things I did was making parts for that to improve that machine. So really nothing to show my friends, but boy, I got a great satisfaction out of doing it.
Somebody has some feedback of. I hear somebody like children talking, or unless it's coming through from my next door.
Yeah, sounds like the teacher on Snoopy.
Yeah,
It could be my printer. I've got a 3D printer running in the background, and it's making a whiny noise.
Okay. It's going whoop.
Yeah, that's as long as we
Yep,
know,
that's the printer.
Okay.
keep it
Solve
going.
that.
So Dan, you build these carts like what I'm seeing behind you? Or you have built these carts?
What's that?
The dune buggy or the four-wheeler behind you. Is that-
Yeah, I bought a chassis. I had the chassis built and I put it together. I did. That was kind of in the past where I'm trying to explain why I have that name. But I had built several of those in the past.
I see. A rail is a type of vehicle, sand rail.
Yeah.
I got it. Beautiful. Well, I look forward to seeing your videos if you're doing day-to-day life and homesteading.
Yeah. Soon as it quits snowing.
Yes, I need to subscribe to Shane too. I don't think I've been there. Winter's Machine Shop.
I got a kick out. One of the comments is it's asking Adam, who are these people?
They're people you should be subscribing to.
That's right. Get with the program, folks.
Show a little love.
Adam's not paying us big money to do this. Thank you, Adam. Before we sign off, we'll forget to say thank you for a chance to show my wares.
Oh, yeah, no problem, no
Cool to
problem.
get to talk to everybody.
Yeah, we'll probably close it down here in just a bit. I still got
I was a
stuff we
little
gotta go get to.
I was a little reluctant to sign on, but I'm glad I did.
Same here.
Yeah.
Yeah, same here.
You know what was funny with the ARW group now, when we're right now, all of us we're on our best behavior because we're being broadcast over YouTube. But when what the head of ARW, Harold, would do is, all right, we're going to sign out. Thank you for joining and everything. So then he'd sign off of YouTube, and yet this chat could keep going, this StreamYard.
Yeah.
Then we'd all say, bring out the dancing girls, get the whiskey. It's a lot of stress being, we're being blown all over the world here, but it was funny. I just remembered it when you said we're going to be signing off. So that's an option you have, Adam. I guess you could keep us, or you could just say, I'm shutting her down. I got to go.
I enjoy
Yeah,
Harold's
still got-
little- at the end of his videos, his jokes.
Yeah, the Bubba jokes.
Yeah. I don't know what happened to that live stream. I thought that was doing pretty well, but
Yeah, the young fellow from, I think, Kentucky that was working in that that art school, trade school, he
No.
took it over, and it just kind of dwindled. Everybody had something to do on Sundays, and kind of broke apart, myself included.
I think sometimes the topics were a little beyond what the average person was in the chat would like to listen to, like
Right.
tool grinding geometry and stuff like that. I mean, yeah, it's interesting to talk about, but stuff like that was brought up a lot.
Right. Yeah, you can't get too boring or too.
A lot of us like to hear more about like
crashing your machine. I want to hear about the latest machine crash you had.
Not me. I haven't had, no, I, let's see.
I mean, I don't want to hear somebody how knowledgeable someone is about tool geometry when
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
nothing ever beaten here.
Yeah, it's machine, and machining. That's another aspect to machine tool and machinist. You know, it's there's all these different operations you're doing on a part manually, and if you screw one of them up, 9 times out of 10, that all that work's gone.
Yeah, 9 times out of 10, it's the very last operation.
And that used to keep me working because I did all the welding. So a lot of the stuff that screwed up in the tool room, sometimes I could put it back on with TIG, but normally especially grinding when we're making counter bores, I put them all together. I milled all the flutes and everything in the pockets for the carbide on the counter bores and brazed them all up. And then the tool grinders had the job of grinding it. And if they ground it undersized, goodbye, all that work's gone. All the hours I spent on it. So, and then just think if all of them had to make videos of it. So anybody here that has any success with YouTube with machining, you're an exceptional person because you're also doing the video work, which is demanding too. And machining is one of the you can't break your concentration on doing it, manual machining, and that's the problem I always have. I got a one-track mind, and I just say the work comes first, and I shut the camera off and lose about 40 subscribers that day.
That goes double when you don't know what you're doing. Because
when you're still learning. Yeah, I'm still learning this part of it.
Yeah.
This part here, I'm a kid.
Well, with me, it's the machining. I'm doing something ass backwards because I just don't know any better.
Right. You learn by doing.
Yeah.
What's the piece you were holding up, Kimber?
Oh, that's a beautiful paperweight. This is probably the prettiest I've ever made. It's a Jarno number 13 Jarno to a MT3. And that would go in my spindle, allow me to do MT3s. But it's stainless steel. I polished it with lapping diamond paste, and
Oh yeah,
beautiful. It just doesn't fit. The Jarno 13 taper is too small, as well as the MT3 taper.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah, and it was the beginning because I lost concentricity through my order of operations.
I was wondering because it looked a lot like the spindle nose adapter for my Pratt & Whitney for the drawbar scallop.
When I was when I was just starting, I came up with some great ideas and made some great tools. And I look back and think, I'm not sure if I can do it again today.
Hmm.
I'm sure you could. I believe in you.
6:51. Okay, 7 p.m.
Yeah, I come across that a lot where I kind of doubt myself, and I have to be just cocky enough to step out and do it. And once you start making the part, it just comes together.
Yeah.
I was just looking at Dan's 3D printer back there. I've never seen anything like that, but I think I'm going to not bring that up because we could end up like ARW. Get too technical. But that's a different kind of 3D printer to me.
Yeah, it's a what do they call that? It's a 3-legged printer instead of 4.
Right.
It's a Delta printer. It
My
yeah,
my son-in-law bought me a 3D printer. You know, obviously in his mind, I'd be able to design parts on that and then transfer
yeah.
it to and be able to make it on my machines. And I was just, you know, Thingiverse. What cool things can I make? You know, and I really undershot the potential for that. It's not
There's
too
a
late.
lot of free designs out there.
Absolutely. And I think the idea of creating a design and making it
Yeah.
appeals to me.
Well, now a lot of the manufacturers, like including Lincoln, I was on a tour a couple years ago when 3D printing was, just getting popular, and Lincoln's already working on, and I'm sure the other manufacturers too. They're making parts all out of weldments. Just you have an automatic MIG welder, just like the printer, and using a same program, and instead of casting a part, just make the whole part out of a weldment, almost to size. They were welding threads on rods,
Yeah.
V threads, and needed very little machining, if anything. So I mean, that's amazing. Using the same idea of CNC and 3D printing.
Well, that 360 program is so complicated to me that it really holds me back, I think.
Confusion 360.
Good night, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Okay. Now to get her to quit calling me.
Oh, you're outside now.
Yeah, I ran into the house. She was calling me on the phone, and
Oh,
I do need to check on, make sure there's nothing, health-wise going on. Getting old's a bitch.
yeah.
A great dinner, shitty dessert.
So you got to go look at them or pick a machine up at them, or
What was that?
you said you got what do you got to go do? Pick a machine up or look at a machine after this?
Oh, today I gotta get that mill finished up so I can get it indoors tonight. Yeah, then tomorrow I'm gonna go look at that vertical turret lathe.
You're taking a trailer with you, or
Just look at it this time.
yeah?
Take the trailer.
I have to go looking first. If I take the trailer, then it's more likely I'll impulsively bring it home.
That's the idea.
That's why I always bring a trailer. I know I don't have the willpower to get there and not take it home. I believe it's about dinner
I
time.
gotta get
About
that
7
mill
o'clock.
in there.
here.
Yeah, I gotta get that mill in so I see how much floor space I actually have left.
If you watch Dee Dee, yeah, I don't know if you watch him or not, but
Yeah.
talking about floor space, he has stuff crammed in his little garage.
Didn't he just?
I
do a
watch
big
his videos
machine?
sometimes. He's only like he's only like 40 minutes from me,
Wow.
Oh,
and I sent him a message about maybe swinging by and visiting his shop, and he kind of went off on me.
really?
So I I
Yeah.
watch him sometimes, but
He's
Yeah.
old.
based on some of the people I was subscribed to,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It got a little awkward when he had his rant.
He does manage to get the stuff in the shop. Well, how he gets that radial arm drill in there, I don't know, but he certainly has experience.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe I'm gonna have to sign off here before I get yelled at by my hungry wife.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, we'll go ahead
that was nice.
and call it a stream. We've been on a couple hours. So.
It was great chatting with you all, and I hope you continued success with all your YouTube sites and your YouTube videos.
Hey, before we go, I want to mention Adventures in Machining. Guy's got a lung disease, building an AR-15 billet upper. But, he might not be around. Well, check him out.
Yeah, definitely will.
Hey, thanks for having me, Adam. Thanks for having me anyway. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Adam.
Yeah, it's nice talking with you guys.
Yeah,
Same
nice
here.
to meet you all.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'll be checking out 2 of your channels that I haven't seen before. So look for me in your comments.
Yeah, we'll try to.
Nice meeting you guys.
I plan
and,
on doing this again next
thank
weekend.
you.
So
I'll be here
Okay, sounds good. Thank you,
Yeah.
Ed.
Okay, y'all have a good week.
Same,
if I'm in.
same to you, sir.
Okay, guys. Figure out how to
Thank
get
you
out.
guys.
Leave.
Mhm.